Hello. We're here. Chad Marshall, Keith Blyer, Director of Coaching Ray Johnson, Director of Team Managers Valerie McHenry, and everybody's favorite, Director of Communications, Christy McIver. Thanks for joining us. We're really excited to get this season started. And so we'll kick it off with this meeting to inform you and give you as much information as we can about Valor Soccer and what you can expect for this upcoming season. But we want to thank everybody for your time tonight. We know 5 o'clock Saturday, you've been waiting for this. You've been set everything aside so that you could make sure to be here. So we appreciate that. But yeah, we want to jump into our meeting here in a short second. But first off, we want to thank everybody. We want to thank you for all your time at tryouts. Thank you for being out there, getting your kids there, or getting yourself there, since we're in the high school age now. And we appreciate that. We're pretty excited about these older teams to really show off some skill, the type of play we want, the level, and the commitment to Valor and what it means to wear this crest so that our futures, the kids underneath you and the players that are younger than you, have somebody to look up to. And we have some great kids in this age group for that. So let's get going here in a minute. We're going to go through a bunch of slides. Myself, Keith Blyer, Valerie, we're going to lead you through this, and we'll try to make this within a half hour. That's been our goal. So let's do it. Okay. We got a bunch of slides we're gonna go through. You're going to get to see those slides instead of our faces for now. And everybody, we promise you'll get to see our faces at least one more time before the end of this. So don't miss us too bad. All right. So Valor Soccer Team Formation Meeting, U16-U19, birth years 2006 to 2003. You can see our clouds up here. We will not be monitoring the chat or taking questions during this presentation. You will be able to ask as many questions as you want inside your team breakout meeting, which should be happening today or tomorrow for all of you, except for one team I think is going Monday. We have one coach traveling and out of town, so you'll be doing yours Monday. So ask those questions to those guys. If they don't know the answers, they'll come to me or Christy, and we'll get them sorted out. All right, next one. All right, here's our agenda for tonight. We'll talk about our teams and coaches. We'll give you a little bit of a definition of what we are Valor. You may have seen that on lots of our stuff or heard our coaches saying that. So we want to define that a little bit for you and share some of our thoughts of what we are Valor means to us. Then we'll share some of our Valor partners, our calendar for Premier, calendar for Select, summer tournament plan, and yes, the highly awaited new uniform kits, club dues, team fees, volunteer information, and then we will get you out of this meeting and hopefully to your team breakout meetings shortly after this for most of you. All right, here's our teams. So we'll go through this. On the Premier Boys side, the U16 2006 boys, gold, Vinny Dantas. The U17-U18 2004-2005 gold, Paul McIlvaney. And the U18-U19, our 2003-04 gold coach, Keith Blyer.
Boo, boo. Who is that guy? Terrible.
Yes, well then, on the Premier Girls side, you're not going to like this anymore. The U16 2006 gold, Keith Blyer again.
Okay, boomer.
And the black coach, Chris Barney. U17 2005 gold, Peter Hattrip. And the U18-U19 2003-2004, our oldest team in the girls side, gold coach, your favorite, Keith Blyer.
Now that guy. I like that guy.
On our select side, our U16 2006, we have Dushan Shakarmis. Our U17 2005, David Salter. For the select girls, we have U16 2006, Frank Raymond. All right, here's our partners. Without these guys, It would make our lives a lot more difficult. So we are very proud of our partners and our sponsors. We are partners with Washington Youth Soccer, US Youth Soccer, South County Soccer Association. Our premier teams play in the RCO. Our select teams play in the NPSL. Okay, we have a brand new jersey sponsor, Valley Harvest International. Very, very excited to work with these guys. They've done a ton for us to help us out with scholarship and all kinds of things. So our new jersey sponsor, Valley Harvest International. Other partners, Tacoma Stars, Nike Soccer, Soccer.com, P&D Logging and Tree Service, Team Genius, and Sports Connect. Thank you, thank you. And now you'll get to not hear my voice for a little while. Our man Keith Blyer is going to jump in here. We're going to talk about We Are Valor. We are Valor. Okay, we're going to help define that. And here is Keith.
Okay. Thank you, Ray Johnson. I'd like to thank Peter Hatrip for staying up past his bedtime. And I'm sure all of our teenage boys and girls who make up this band and this part of our club think we're like totally cool now because we're on Twitch. And I will be I'll be doing a Call of Duty tutorial after this presentation. Once I figure out what Call of Duty is. Okay. This is probably the most important slide in our presentation. And, maybe you've heard something like this before. Bear with me for a moment because I think you, and when I say you, I mean the oldest players in our club, are the ones who are probably the most responsible for this. When Ray says we are Valor, it comes with the exclamation point. So we are Valor! We mean it. We are a club. I know you're on a team, and you know those players better than the rest. But what you need to understand is there are hundreds, and someday soon 1,000 players that make up this club, and that is your soccer family. So we are not just your team, and I think the clubs that aren't fully formed are just a collection of teams. We want to be a club, and we want, let's say, for example, our 2005 girls to have a very, very similar experience to our 2011 boys. We want the soccer to look the same way. So we start, obviously, with our core values. And you see it right on your chest, right on the badge. It's courage, integrity, and honor. Courage is obviously just being brave. Brave on the soccer field. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Take chances out there. I know that at your age, did you win or did you lose or was it a draw? That's all you're ever asked, right? Well, if you were creative and you expressed yourself on the soccer field and you took chances, we're going to be content with your performance. Integrity, that's a big one for you. You probably hear this every day of your teenage lives, but you're almost adults, okay? You're responsible for your own behavior. You're responsible for your accountability to your club. So the integrity that you carry with yourself is really important. The honor, obviously, is the pride that you have in belonging to the club. Your spot on your team and your spot with Valor Soccer is not a right, even though you do pay to play. It is a privilege, and you should act as such. You'll probably hear more about that from your coaches in your team meetings. We have club philosophies, and you may be experiencing this a little more and more with each passing week over the last year. But we have a way that we want our teams to train. And that's been some heavy lifting at times, especially with our older teams. We want what you do to be consistent from one year to the next. You can kind of see that little schematic down there on the lower left. We've created a club curriculum. And so every team in our club works on a specific function of the game in a specific area of the field every single week. But more than that, does a training session for Valor Soccer look good, right? Is it consistent? Do you know what's coming next? We're trying very hard to create that consistency for you. We have policies, as you probably know by now. The playing time one is one of the most important. If you're a player in good standing, and we can talk a little bit more about good standing in the specific team meetings. If you're in good standing, you're guaranteed playing time, but it's only 20 minutes a match. You earn the rest. And we have a number of resources available to you. Do you see those logos, NCAA, NAIA, NWAC? Players your age should know what those are. Obviously, those are next level opportunities for you. I've had 3 quarterly meetings already regarding our college placement program. How many of you want to get to the next level? Did you take part in those webinars? If not, you're already falling behind. Another big thing for teenagers is what you put in your body. Cool Ranch Doritos and a Monster energy drink is not the best pregame meal. That you know. But what else do you know? So we try to provide those resources for you and for your coach. There's a lot that we provide for your coach. The last point I will make, and this is a specific line for your presentation, you are role models. We can ask you who your role models are, right? And you might say, oh, I really look up to Jordan Morris, or my favorite player is Julie Ertz. These are the ones that I model my game and maybe even a little bit of my life after. Guess what? You're now a role model, even if you are just 15 years old. When that U10 Valor Soccer player walks by you, you look like a rock star to him or her. You are what she wants to be someday. So are you always representing the pride in the right way? And I hope that your coaches talk to you a little bit more about that as the year progresses. Okay, so that's the longest we'll spend on a single slide. You can wake up from your nap now, and we'll get you some information. All right. So what does a premier year look like for you old people? This is the boys' schedule, and it's different, obviously, because you guys are high school age, and we gladly release you to play high school soccer. So the way your year unfolds is like this. You have the rest of the month off. Take a break from soccer if you need to. With your high school season, actually, you boys are in the middle of it. Some of you are just about to end your season. My son is an example, has just gotten started. So it's different conference to conference. But in any case, we won't get to our club training until after Memorial Day. And then it's heavy through the summer with breaks, but we'll go steadily and you'll go play in tournaments. And we're really excited that we've gotten beyond the pandemic to the point where all these tournaments are scheduled and should happen. More information on the specific tournaments in a moment, parents, and you can pull out your pencils, or you can open up the calendar on your phone, because we're about to add some dates. Every premier team on the boys' side plays in the fall RCL League, about 15 to 21 matches. We do plan to take you, or most of our teams, to one or even maybe 2 showcase events during the winter. Perhaps a trip to Arizona or California in November or February. Pac Northwest, the club that's just down the street, does an ID camp. So we want to get you those exposure opportunities. We will take a break, obviously, over the holidays. Premier teams will train once during Thanksgiving week, early in the week, and we will take a full break from December 20th to January 2nd, so you guys can enjoy the holidays. And then there is a tournament, a cup event, from middle of January to the middle of February, President's or State Cup, depending on your team. What we need to make is an important point here. You guys all have that midwinter break. Most do anyway, right? That full week off from school. If you run away for a ski vacation or off to Mexico, it is very likely that you will miss a cup match. So please think about that. If you have more than 1 or 2 players who are missing, we can't do any guest playing. So maybe you put the midwinter break off for spring break this year. Just something to think about. And then we're really excited. We're going to have our first ever Valor Liberty Challenge. It'll be our club's tournament. We wanted to do it last year. little something called a pandemic got in the way, but we're going to do it February 18th to the 21st next year. So definitely jot that down. And then the tryouts, it was different this year, as you guys know. Your tryouts for the following year will be February of next year and not in May, because then you're off to your high school soccer season. Okay, so that's the boys. The girls, as you know, you guys play high school soccer in the fall. So your summer's just like the boys. We can skip that. And then off you go to your high school season from early September through to mid-November. Once we get to middle November, sure, we would like a high school player who maybe goes deep into a playoff format to take a break individually, but we're going to get going right away. Middle of November is when club training will resume. Again, 1 or 2 showcase events, November through February. There are a number of options, both local and travel. It'll be up to your team and your team's coach. You'll play in an RCL league that starts kind of a winter RCL league, right? So it'll start in early December and it'll run through March 12th. Of course, there'll be holiday breaks, just like the boys. We'll only train once during Thanksgiving week, and we'll take 2 weeks off around Christmas. There's the Liberty Challenge, February 18th to the 21st of next year. And then your cup event is from the middle of March to early May. This is where, different from the boys, a spring break trip out of town or being unavailable could be difficult for your team. We're not forcing you to stay home, okay? But we are asking you to consider that. I think it's important. Obviously, those matches carry some extra weight. And again, we can't borrow from other teams in those cup events. And then your tryouts will be for the next year, about a year from now. The boys select schedule. So back to the boys side, it's similar. You can kind of look at it here. Your fall season is in the NPSL. You will have all of Thanksgiving week off. You'll play in the Founders Cup in mid-January to middle of February. Everybody is going to play in the Liberty Challenge. And then, again, your tryouts will be in February, and then you will go play high school soccer if you so choose. Christy with the click. Thanks, Christy. The girls' select schedule mirrors the girls' premier schedule in many ways. The differences, not much. You'll play in the NPSL instead of the RCL. And actually, there's a typo here. I'm going to blame Keith Blyer. Do you guys know who Keith Blyer is? That's the guy that makes all the mistakes. So I'll get in touch with him and he'll be fired. But he wrote here that the select teams train once on the girls' side. No, you'll have all of Thanksgiving week off. Valor Liberty Challenge, and then you'll play in the President's Cup, middle of March to early May. And then your tryouts will be in the middle of May. Okay. We're getting there, gang. I'm sure this is a slide that you'll want to pay some close attention to. What tournaments are you playing in this summer? For the select teams, in June, it will be up to your coach and maybe with some input from your team. And, of course, approval from the directors, what you do in June. In July, everybody in our select program is going to play in the Kent Cornucopia Cup, which we're affiliated with. Yeah, go ahead, Ray. You want to jump in?
Yeah.
The
River Jam tournament we're chatting about because you guys will have gone back to high school then. So we're talking about that right now.
Yeah, that falls right on that weekend, right? It might even be right after you start high school. And by that, we don't mean your soccer season. We mean you're actually getting back into class. So we're going to discuss that, but you might want to just put it in pencil for the moment. Thanks, Ray. And then the Valor Liberty Challenge next February. Additional events are always possible with the select teams, as long as they check with us first. Premier teams, here is your summer schedule. The girls, Rainier Challenge, they're on different weekends. The girls, June 18th to the 21st. So start saving these weekends, families. The boys will be June 25th to 28th. We do plan on putting all of our premier teams in their tournaments. And we're hoping for some reciprocation when it comes to our tournament in February. The Crossfire Challenge both genders on the same weekend. And yes, it could start Friday and you could play Monday. That can be a 4-day event sometimes. That's out at 60 Acres, July 9th to the 12th. Here's one that'll get you excited, I think. San Diego, going to Cali, August 6th to the 8th. All the gold teams will go to the SoCal Cup. It's the Breakers Club event. It'll be optional for black. So start begging your black team coach now, players. Mom's like, no, we can't. We were going to go see grandma. A possible winter showcase event for sure during the winter months, perhaps in warmer weather, or maybe here in the freezing rain. But we want to get you exposed to college coaches. The events that we choose, obviously we weigh whether or not, there'll be some possible recruiting opportunities for our players. And then there's the Liberty Challenge, additional events allowed with the approval of the director. Okay, club dues, pretty simple, and we understand not free. You should know by now what the club dues are, understand how much goes into those dues. Obviously, all of our costs as a club regarding our membership with the state and the regional association, state cup tournaments, all the field rental at Ravensdale and Petrovitsky and Summit, Wilson, all of our administrative costs, the people like Christy to my left who do a phenomenal job. And then, of course, our coaching staff. We believe that we have one of the strongest coaching staffs in the entire state. I guess I'd say do some research, poke around on other clubs' websites, and tell me how many clubs have all of their directors with A licenses, DOCs and technical directors. Not sure if you'll find that elsewhere. Team fees. So you have the club dues, and then you also have some additional team fees. I think you're probably prepared for that. You guys have been through this a little bit. Your tournaments come with an extra fee. If it's local, it's not much. And then obviously we have to reimburse our coaches for their travel. You got first aid kits. You got some extracurricular activities, team bonding. All of that is paid through a team account. How do you pay? You can pay in full. What will happen is you're going to get an email from the club. It's not the one that I sent out last night regarding, or earlier this week about your team placement. You're going to get another one soon if you haven't already, for official registration process. And that's your opportunity to start to pay the club. You can pay in full, but we also offer a payment plan. Premier teams, you do have to put $290 down as a deposit. That will make you official within our club and on your team. It's $190 for the select team, and you can play monthly, July 10th through February 10th. That comes with a little bit of a payment processing charge, which would also apply to your deposit. Oh my, we're getting close to the uniforms. Start sitting up, dudes, because they're fire. They're fire, straight fire. Financial aid program. I'm getting excited already. We have a great financial aid program in which we try to make soccer affordable and possible for everyone. You do have to prove need. So there's an application process. So here's how it works. Get on the website right now. Go to the financial aid page. Fill out an application. They are due within a couple weeks, right? Today's May 22nd. We need them by June 1st. You will need to pay your first payment, so that $190 for Select or $290 for Premier. But then once we get your application, our management team reviews it, and we will get in contact with you specifically and let you know exactly what we can provide in terms of financial aid. So by all means, go through that process, and we will let you know what we can do. We do as much as we possibly can. Thanks to our sponsors and a lot of other people who do good work. Drum roll. There it is. Those are the new kits. And they're sweet. I personally like the purple goalkeeper kit, but I love the black vertical, the different shades, and then the really bold home kit. Looking good. So that's what they'll look like. The required items, obviously, are your home and your away jersey, 2 training shirts, warm-up jacket is required. It can get cold out at Ravensdale, and a warm-up jacket can be a bare minimum on some nights. You got short socks, backpack. Okay, the optional items, the keeper kit, unless you're the designated goalkeeper. So if you're a part-time goalkeeper, that's an optional item. Warm-up bottoms and a rain jacket, which I would strongly recommend. I'm not sure if you noticed, but you live in the Seattle area. And there's this thing called rain. Your numbers will be assigned by the club. Okay, I know that might disappoint 1 or 2 of you out there, but it's much easier to do it this way. And there's a method to our madness. If you're born in an even birth year, you're going to get an even number. Odd birth year, odd number. And that helps tremendously, especially these older ages, because if a 2005 player wants to go play with a 2004 team, we don't have to put masking tape on the back of your jersey because you will not have the same number as a player on that team. Fittings, we're going to try to schedule some in early June once the samples get to us. They're on the way. And that means that it's possible your first tournament in June, you might be out in the older Valor kits. I think that's about it for me. Yes. So Valerie McHenry, who's in charge of our team managers, please give her your attention, especially parents, because we're nothing without you. If each team does not have the proper level of support and our club doesn't have volunteers, we can't provide the experience for your kids that we really want to. All right, Val.
So as a reminder, we do ask that all of our families do a minimum of 8 hours of volunteer effort. There is a buyout option, and parents, you can actually sign your kids up to help with the volunteer hours. So there is that avenue. Just make sure they show up, please. We do rely upon our volunteers. There's team manager and team treasurer as volunteer activities. I think most of you are familiar with those responsibilities. A couple other items on here is a Valor tournament committee, helping plan the Valor tournament. We can always use help with that. Valor Day committee. We are hoping we'll be able to plan a Valor Day at the North Green River Park, which is, we all know is Pea Patch, and planning what we did like 2 years ago, something like that there. Also looking for a volunteer coordinator, somebody to help with some of these activities and coordinating people and communication out when we need some of those activities or volunteers. Another item we've added this year is a Valor photography team. And this is simply, if you've got that nice photography equipment, photography is a hobby, it's another way to earn volunteer hours or get credit for your volunteer hours. It's simply your name goes on an email list. When we need volunteers, we'll email you. If you're available to sign up for the event we need, great. If you're not, understand. But it's just another opportunity to actually get your credit by doing something you really enjoy. There's also, we'll have day of tournament. Volunteers will be needed for both Kent Cornucopia Cup and Liberty Challenge. Day of Valor Day volunteers. And then there's always the field setup and breakdown volunteers that we need throughout the season. Please email me if you've got any questions or concerns or want to be part of the Valor photography team or any of those other ones. Otherwise, please coordinate with your coaches. They do need to get team managers and team treasurers figured out very quickly, especially those premier teams. We need to register for tournaments and get that aligned very quickly. Tuesday, we will be having the kickoff meeting for team managers and team treasurers. So hopefully I will see everyone there. And that's it. Much quicker on that one.
Oh,
I caught him off guard.
caught us napping. Sorry.
Believe it or not, we were back there discussing something called youth soccer. So thanks, Val.
Thanks, Val. We're back. I told you you'd see us again.
Ray actually combed his hair, so I'm proud of him.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool. He actually put product in his hair. He looks good.
it's the last of it, though.
Valerie always looks good.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for your time today. We really, really appreciate it. We're excited for this year. We're glad to be past the what do they call that thing?
Ugh.
Yeah,
Don't even
that.
mention it. The P word.
Yeah, we're glad to be getting further and further away from some of the restrictions we had last year, and getting some summer tournaments and playing some games and getting our Valor gear out there in front of everybody, and showing off our players and our families and our skills. So thank you all for your time. We're available. We're able to help out however we can. But please go through your coaches first, and then we'll help you out if they cannot figure out the answer for you. And you can see we had up earlier a bunch of emails. Myself, Keith, Valerie, our info box, our registrar. Reach out to people, and we'll make sure we find answers for you. So we appreciate everybody. Thank you so much for your time.
My teams. I'll see you at 5:45. Google Meet. You're not off the hook yet.
See you guys.
Yeah. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.